All right, everybody. Good evening and welcome to Game 10 of Real Racquetball. And it is called Real Racquetball. I'm Sudsy, here with Executive Director Mike Wedel. Mike, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, it's weather's obviously beautiful behind me. I know it's getting cold in the States, and there's things that are like rapidly changing, not only the weather, and we're definitely going to discuss a bunch of those things. I did hear a rumor that you got a little vacation, so that's good. I hope you had a little bit of time off.
I disconnected for a full week, got away, drove around the country a little bit, saw some beautiful parts of the country, and it was really nice. It was a good disconnect.
All right, good, because I'm about to connect you once again, and we're gonna get right back into it. You know, it's Thanksgiving week, so I'll say it now, and then I'll say it again later. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully, you can get together and enjoy each other's company. If not, you know, nobody's judging. You do whatever's best for you and your family. But right now, here on Real Racquetball, we're gonna get right to it. We have 3 topics we're gonna go over tonight. We're going to start with the national events, USA Racquetball's national events, the 2020 schedule that obviously has been postponed going into 2021. We're also going to talk briefly about Giving Tuesday. Mike's going to explain that to everybody. Then we're going to just talk about a couple other topics and maybe take some questions. So with that, Stuart Solomon, the man in the back, let's bring in USA Racquetball's National Events Director, Connor Shane. Connor. You are on mute, my friend. And now
how's it going?
What's up, Samuel Murray? Connor, how are you? It's great to see you as always.
So, every time, man. Every time.
Never going to go away until I get you and Samuel in the same room at the same time, which I could arrange. So we'll work on that.
We've got to get
You know, listen, there's got to be some humor, Connor, because, you know, you guys are working where we talk a lot offline, and obviously there's a fluid situation. It's constantly changing, you know, with COVID and what's going on. You've been working your ass off to plan the 2020 calendar, which obviously just smacked all of us dead in the face, especially you as the national events director. You know, welcome to Racquetball, huh? And the schedule has just been constantly changing. So why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about the changes and the events and what's been going on?
Yeah, there's a lot, man. I mean, it's been, I was on a few conferences that some of the speakers made a little bit of an anecdote that I kind of disagreed with. They said it was planning events in 2021 is like hitting a moving target, which I really disagreed with because, you know, hitting a moving target means that if you're a better shot, that means you're going to hit it. That's not what we're in right now, right? Nobody can hit it. Nobody is hosting an event right now. Nobody is able to do anything right now. It's shooting a target that isn't there. Right. I mean, it's a very difficult thing to do right now. So some of the issues we're running into is obviously the doubles postponement that I think we all saw last month. Really was not something that we wanted to announce, but we didn't really have a choice. The next event we're looking at is national high schools, and that's something that is not looking too good right now. We haven't made the official announcement yet, but there's a lot of things that we're trying to deal with right now, including St. Louis, the press conference that just happened last week.
When are the high school scheduled, Connor? I'm sorry. When are
the end of February?
So that's the high school nationals, and that was the original date is for the end of February?
The end of February was in St. Louis, Missouri. But as of last week, St. Louis County just announced that they're taking 2 steps back on their COVID quarantine lockdown. So the fitness centers are going from 75% to 50% to 25%. The benefit to some of our high school athletes, which is really, really positive. That's probably the best part of this is the high school students are still able to play, at least in St. Louis. From what I hear in Oregon, the same lockdown happened, but those high school athletes are not able to play. So there is some benefit in St. Louis, but not a lot of benefit in Oregon.
So, yeah, I mean, it's funny. I'm actually headed to St. Louis the first week of December to work with a client, and I'm dealing with exactly what you're talking about. You know, they don't know if the courts are going to be open. Now they're saying you have to wear a mask when you play. And, you know, so I do have a question. So obviously St. Louis, the high school nationals are planned for the end of February, and now we're running into another hiccup. For a lot of the viewers and a lot of the players nationally, explain to them why, because they do see events happening, right? We just had the Vegas outdoor. They have these shootouts, and a lot of them are outdoors, and I see some comments, you know, and they're valid questions, right? Like, hey, we see events happening. but explain to them, the difference in size of the event that you try to put on, and obviously the location and how that's just constantly changing, why they can see certain events happening and then some of your events not happening.
Right. So there's a very definitive difference between a local event, a regional event, a state event, and a national event. Those being, the local event is subject to just local issues and local regulations and local policies. The national events that we're trying to host means that I'm looking at a local venue, and we're going to take athletes from around the country, and they're all going to have to fly. I negotiate hotel rates and hotel contracts, and all of these people are coming in for this national event. It's a much different event. It's very, very different. And the local events can't be put under the same strenuous criticism that national events can. I mean, hosting a national event in doubles, for example, in Tempe, Arizona, it's not just athletes from Tempe. We're talking about athletes who are playing doubles from all over the country, flying into this small area and trying to participate in this event. And those are now under much more strenuous scrutinizing issues from local regulations, from the venue, from the city, and then from us, from USA Racquetball. I mean, it's not the same event. I'm happy to sanction a local event, but national events are different.
Yeah, it's not only that. You left, sorry, Mike, you left out something big that I know, because I've inquired about national events.
Yeah.
We need a certain number of courts, a minimum amount of courts. And quite frankly, right now, nationally, we just don't have that availability. There just aren't clubs that work with cities that are saying we can have these events. Like Vegas had 600 players. Well, but Vegas was allowed to. And they're building the courts for that event. So we can't compare that to saying, let's have a national doubles where we need 8 or 10 indoor racquetball courts.
And Vegas was outdoors, completely different set of rules. And if the universities, Tempe, Arizona, the university absolutely said, no, you're not coming here. You are not bringing a national championship in our event. So pretty much all of the universities have said, you're absolutely not coming to our facility. Which is, okay, so it eliminates all the universities. So we've got private clubs, but still an indoor event with 600 people from around the country, boy, everybody involved is freaking out and saying, especially since things are getting worse. Our goal was, which is why, Connor will attest to this. He and I talk several times a week about getting a schedule out. Well, we've been postponing this, hoping, because if we put a schedule out today, every place we talk to says no. If we wait a month or two, we're hoping, please, that things get better. Then we can maybe do something that somebody will say yes. Right now, everybody is saying no. So the universities, they're off the chart. They're gone. You just can't have them. Connor's talked to A&M. And boy, we thought we had them in a lineup. Nope, can't do it. Tempe,
A&M,
nope.
LSU, ASU, Ohio State. Yeah. Everybody is pulling out. And on top of that, too, the issue that Mike's talking about is we're not just talking about athletes coming in. We're talking about indoor fitness clubs. And even if they're private, university campuses, the biggest issue with university campuses is they're not allowing outside university events on campus, which makes sense. I mean, their responsibility is to their tuition paying students, but private clubs are now being regulated to 50% or 25% capacity. And their responsibility is to a membership paying fitness club member. Sure. They're not to us. And I can pay $5,000, I can pay $8,000, I can pay $10,000
right, of course.
to host an event. They don't care.
No,
they care about their members. Right. They care about their members.
No, I get that. Yeah, they should. If I owned a club privately and I have 1,000 paying monthly members and I can have you guys or USA Racquetball come in once a year for one event, I'm going to make a decision. I think I like the lifelong paying member. All right. So here's a difficult question, Connor. And what I love about having you on the show is you don't mind what I throw at you. So now what about outdoor? Is there an avenue or some way USA Racquetball could focus on doing an outdoor event or more outdoor events?
Oh, absolutely. 100% absolutely more outdoor events. I am all for that. I'm not for trying to take high school national championships that have been an amazing
No,
event
no,
for
no,
high
no.
school athletes.
Yeah,
Right. Which is where I'm okay hosting more outdoor events. I'm not okay having a conversation that involves pivoting indoor national championships to being an outdoor national
No,
championship.
I would agree with you and totally
Right.
have your back on that. No way.
Right.
That's a
More
different
outdoor
sport. It's a
events.
different sport.
Let's do it.
Right. We
Right.
don't want anybody
Now-
to get the wrong idea about this either. That all we're talking about is doubles being postponed. And high schools, we haven't made a final decision or announcement will be out in the next week or two about what happens with that. Those are the only two events we're talking about at the moment. All the rest of them, we have some enormous work being done right now that we expect some really cool things coming in the next, hopefully, month. We've really got, COVID has gotten worse rather than better. It's put us in a terrible spot. We were hopeful, not with a lot of realistic hope, but really hopeful that by year end, things would at least level out and have some kind of a pattern that we could look forward to and start planning some big events in springtime. Well, right now, COVID's gotten worse. Everybody's shutting down. Things are going backwards. So nobody even wants to talk to us about scheduling an event in the next couple of months. They're just trying to survive. So we don't want anybody thinking that we're shutting down the entire system. We're not. We're only talking about doubles being postponed, keyword being postponed. High schools, we can't really postpone. It's one we've either got to have at that time or not. We're working hard, truly. Trust
What do
me,
you mean by that? I'm sorry, Mike. So Connor, if high schools can't be postponed, they can only be canceled. Is that?
pretty
Yes
much.
and no, because the high school schedule is based on the students. And
Right.
I
Sure.
understand that there are some, seniors that are graduating, stuff like that. But that February timeline is something that they plan into their national calendar.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
that's something that, it's similar to intercollegiates. Intercollegiates is planned around spring break. And those are the things that if we postpone on our end, we're protected because a lot of our clauses are continuation clauses.
Mhm.
Our venues continue to 2021. Our sponsorship continues to 2021. But we understand that some of these senior athletes may or may not miss out on that national championships, which we're going to do things to try and make that up to them.
Okay.
But we can't exactly host a high school national championships in May. It doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. Line up, what are the next 3 main national events that are on the calendar?
High school national championships is very, very close to being rediscussed.
Right.
Intercollegiates is in March. And then we have already discussed doubles being postponed until June.
Okay.
And that doubles event is most likely being paired with singles.
So is there a chance that we actually look at this, or you look at this? I have no say, by the way. I tell everybody that all the time. I'm just a bridge here. Is there a chance that you look at the 2021 calendar and say, hey, you know what? Let's plan out 6 months in advance or 8 months in advance, because it seems like you keep getting curveballs thrown at you. I mean, I'm involved in some emails and texts and I see like, oh, another change. And like, listen to this, Racquetball world. This is not Connor's fault or USA Racquetball's fault. These are cities and politicians, whether you agree with it or not, whether you, I'm not getting into that because I'll get thrown off the show. It's, they're not making these choices. You think we don't want these events? Exactly. I mean, I'm missing out on possibly my last year as a USA team member. And yes, it sucks, where we don't have the courts. The cities are constantly throwing curveballs. Connor, I mean, this guy wants to do an event. It's his first, you're here for a year now almost. And like, you haven't been able to run your own event. So, if anybody knows any good politicians out there or city ordinance and we can change things. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm not joking. We need the club and the facility to be able to host the event, because that was kind of my next question, Con. How many clubs nationally, let's pretend that we can just have a magic wand and pick a club. Are there 20 clubs that can host a national event? 50, 100? I don't know. That have the ability with enough courts to host an event.
Yeah, we're talking high 80s, low 90s in terms of national event capacity. But with that argument, though, it's not just capability of hosting a national event. I want to pair with cities who are willing to not only front sponsorship dollars, but have low airline costs to get in there, that have decent hotel rates. I mean, hosting a national event isn't just finding somewhere that has 15 courts. That's
I'm getting
not
to that.
how it goes.
I'm getting to that next.
All right,
Don't worry.
sorry.
So now here's what else we racquetball players want, Connor. Not only do we want you to have an event, and we want it in a cool city too. Now go find us the courts, go find us the sponsors, and I want to make sure that I don't care what they say about COVID, all right? You put that event on, and oh, by the way, let's do it in San Diego, Miami, or maybe Dallas. Can we do that?
And it better be safe.
And it better be safe.
But obviously I'm making a joke, but now explain that that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah, I agree with you. So some of the major things that I focus on is, number one, do they have enough courts? Does the city itself have enough courts? If it doesn't, I'm not going to talk to you. I apologize. I'll talk to you. I'll be friends with you.
No offense.
Right. Number two, the biggest contract that I sign after that are hotels. And does the city itself have enough hotel rooms to be compliant with the attendees that are coming in? And not only that, but to the room rate that we're talking about. And I mean that we need first-tier hotels that are $99 to $129 and second-tier hotels that are $179 to $199. But then after that, are they willing to front $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 of sponsorship cash to bring to either offset the venue, or just give us an extra incentive to maybe pay for the catering, or maybe pay for the hospitality rooms, or maybe even pay for the increase on our broadcasting and our streaming? Those are the things that I look for immediately. But then you have all of these other subsidiary issues, such as, are we going to go to a ski town during winter? Absolutely not, because hotels are now 15% increased on hotel room rates and flights are $700. Absolutely not. Are we going to go to the southeast during hurricane season? Of course not, right? Because our venue might get canceled, right? Because the hurricane is destroying New Orleans and Louisiana and stuff like that. So there's all these other things that I'm dealing with. But unfortunately, what we're dealing with right now is a very much holistic, passive-aggressive issue that's dealing with all of these venues. I mean, all of these venues are having issues, and they're low on income and they're low on availability. And then they're getting regulated from 100% to 25%. So they're not only told that they can't bring in all this income, now they're told that the max income they can bring in is 25%. And while they're dealing with this, I'm also trying to poke them and say, hey, can we host this event? You know, we're out here. I'll pay you extra money. We'll bring in people to your city. It's great. It's awesome. However, you can't hit that max level. Otherwise, you very well may lose licensing as a club. And that's not something I want to do. We don't want clubs to disappear. We don't want clubs to have these major issues.
Yeah, you can't. They're not going to break. Right. I mean, they're not going to break laws or anything. Well, enlighten me, humor me. I assume there's many club owners in these beautiful cities with meeting all these specs of having the hotels available at the right time, banging down your door to host an indoor tournament.
A lot of them are. Yeah. These conferences, the conferences that we go to tend to be
right now.
Not right now.
Right now, of course not. Yeah. People are, look, man, people are trying to keep up their own doors. Nobody's banging down my door. They're having issues paying their own HVAC issues and their utility bills. But with that said, there's a ton of cities banging down our door trying to contract 2022, 2023, 2024, because the incentives they're looking for are safe. They're, this will be over in 2024. So let me contract a 2024 event and let me give you $25 per athlete attendee that comes to your event, because that's our incentive we're doing right now. That's great. I don't want to contract 2024. I want to contract 2021.
Right.
And a lot of them are not doing that. They're playing the safe bet. So the incentives they're pushing forward and the checks they're writing are for 2 to 3 to 4 years down the line.
Yeah.
Connor, it's always a pleasure having you. I could definitely keep you on here and keep, putting you through the ringer, but, and I'll tell you this, that maybe this is a good time for you to start looking at outdoor events, big national events. And by the way, for the record, anybody watching, no, we shouldn't make indoor nationals, outdoor nationals, or national singles. I mean, let's take the US Open and put it outdoor. No, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. But maybe this, with all this negative doom and gloom, right, that we're seeing around the world, maybe this is an opportunity where USA Racquetball can say, hey, we have an opportunity here with outdoor racquetball.
Right.
Maybe we can start trying to grow some big events there too. That's just my take on it. I know you're working hard. I know you're getting curveballs thrown at you every day. And so really the update is high school nationals. We don't have a definitive answer, but we are having issues in St. Louis. That's right, Connor?
You will have an answer by the end of this week.
Okay, great. So Connor, thank you very much for joining us. And I'll touch on if anybody wants to reach out to Connor or Sam Murray, I'll give you his Instagram as well. Connor, talk to you later. Let's move on to topic 2. Thanks, Con. All right, so Mike, there you have it. I mean, there's so many people. I've been in the sport my whole life, right? Over 40 years, and my parents have owned clubs, and I've played, and I've consulted, and I've been an ambassador now for USA Racquetball and a Team USA representative. What I've learned are so many of the things that happen behind the curtain and how difficult it is. And there's no doubt about it that 2020 is by far the most difficult racquetball, not just racquetball, right? Everybody life.
Right,
I mean, if we're just going to complain about racquetball, well, lucky us. But like what we're going through with racquetball in 2020, I mean, I'm devastated. I'm hurt. Right. I'm dying too. And we want things to happen. And I think it's because we all want a sense of normalcy. But a lot of this stuff, our hands are tied too.
It really is. And I really enjoy working with Connor. You see the passion in what he's trying to do. He knows what he's doing. I keep equating it to the best analogy I can put. He's like a racehorse that's locked inside the cage. He just can't quite get out there and do what he's ready to do because he's got the skill set. And with he and I together, with all the things we've talked about, we've got so many things we want to do to grow national championships. He's got new avenues for revenue that we're going to do a lot of different things to make national championships big again. 2020 was our year to do that. Well, we got kind of kicked in the shorts about that one. Well, so he and I talk pretty much daily about what we're working on, what we're doing, the things he's contacting, the people he's talking to, all those things. So we're working so hard on trying to figure out how to make this happen for 2021. It's going to be a COVID different look of 2021. Our hope is to go back to 2022 and have somewhat of a normal look. May not be. This may be somewhat of a normal thing. It may look different going into 2022. We don't know for sure because we don't know exactly what 21 is going to look like. But we're working on a couple big events that are going to happen in 2021. I believe they're going to, and Connor's going to do some amazing things for us. So, and I know I've run 100 events, IRT, LPRT, individual regional.
Good events, by the way, too.
Thank you. I
like those events. Kansas was fun. Mike, I'm gonna blindside you here a little bit because we were in Vegas. We had a great time. We talked about it. Outdoor was awesome. The crew is great. The players are different. It's a different type of culture and atmosphere. Is there a chance that USA Racquetball puts some more energy and focus into the outdoor game? Because there's a lot of talk. A lot of people want to hear that. They want to know, hey, what about this? Is it possible?
Yeah, absolutely. When USA Racquetball, I was on the board when we decided to purchase the WAR brand, and the whole purpose was that the outdoor game is an incredible opportunity for racquetball to grow. It's the free way to go in and play. It's like playing basketball on a tennis court. You can go do it for free. So we understand that value, and we're working really hard. Most of the things we've done so far have been kind of behind the scenes. But I've attended the 3-wall ball tournament a couple of years now. Amazing event. Mike's done a phenomenal job. And I know the other 2 big events in the country are doing an enormous amount of work. Our goal is to find ways to build in national championships for outdoor, and over the next few years have a series of events that are national indoor and national outdoor events. Absolutely in our plan. We would not be wasting our time and investing money into it if we didn't believe that. So we've got a lot of work going on. We've got your favorite word, we've got a committee assembled of some really strong outdoor personalities, because the outdoor game's different. As indoor people, I'm an indoor racquetball person. I'm not an outdoor racquetball. I don't want to jump in and start dictating what happens in the outdoor game because I don't understand the culture well enough. So we've got people that do. So we're working smart rather than just hard on it. And we're going to make some terrific inroads into the outdoor racquetball game. So it's going to happen. Well,
yeah, I think it will.
I wish there were facilities that had 10, 15 outdoor courts so we could go assemble and do things at. I mean, Vegas, they build those courts. Phenomenal.
No, Mike, I don't, we talk often too. And yeah, there, I do see with all these issues though, there are a lot of opportunities, and I, speaking for racquetball, do believe that this is a big opportunity, and there's a good chance, we could do something amazing, not only for indoor eventually, but also grow that outdoor game. And I think this might be an opportunity that you guys can take advantage of. And obviously having Connor on the team, something to look at. But I also know it does take time to plan these things. It's not like, we can snap the fingers and you can hold a national outdoor event. But it's definitely a good thing to do. And it's good to hear that, you're definitely working on that. So we'll be looking at that.
We've heard the monumental things that Mike Coulter did to make 3-wall ball happen.
Sure.
I mean, it was because he knew the right people and the right contacts, and he just absolutely monumental things to make that happen.
Yeah, this year was obviously a little more difficult, but it's certainly something that we could look at. Let's move on, because we like to keep the Real Racquetball show short and sweet, and make sure we keep everybody's attention and want you coming back for more. So, Mike, real quick, tell everybody, I don't know really much about Giving Tuesday.
Giving Tuesday is a national day of giving. It's kind of it's a day that all nonprofits look at as kind of a target, and they rally around this day, and most philanthropists will mark that day on their calendar, and they'll give to those charities that they feel good about. That Giving Tuesday is December 1st. You'll be receiving, everybody that's a member and those that have been a member will be receiving an email over the next couple of days, kind of explaining how to get involved in it. It's a real soft ask. We would like everybody, if Giving Tuesday is a part of your giving plans, please look to USA Racquetball. This year has been devastating with COVID, and as we've said, it's getting worse. And we talk about the national events; those are part of our budget. We look to those to be revenue generators, and the fact that we've postponed doubles, it's going to be a challenge to make next year happen. So Giving Tuesday will be an important part for us. So we just appreciate anybody that will look at that and consider. So thank you very much.
So we're going to wrap it up here, but before I wrap it up, I just want to touch on, as you know, Mike, I'm super onto and involved in social media and what's going on, and I have my fingers on the pulse of our sport. And I saw a very disturbing post today. Norm McNutt, who's a fan and outspoken, and Norm, I appreciate it. You're out there, you're keeping racquetball out there. And I did read a post that was really disturbing for me, because it came from somebody, and Norm, it said that they were really disappointed and upset with USA Racquetball, and that they may not play racquetball again, and that touches a soft spot in my heart. And when this show was created, Real Racquetball, and Mike contacted me and USA Racquetball contacted me to be the voice and the face, I said, I'm not going to do it unless we're going to keep it real. And hence it came up with the Real Racquetball name. And one of the things I said was, I need to make sure that we can communicate with all of the members, any issues, any problems, any concerns. And you can send them to me. You can send them to USA Racquetball. Now, whether they'll get addressed immediately, which we all want instant gratification or not, that's a whole nother topic, right? That's a whole nother subject. But it would be better to actually see these issues or concerns so that, we could bring them up and we could say, well, hey, here's an exact problem I have, whatever it is. Right. That's why this show was created. I have no say. I don't sit on a board. I don't make decisions. I'm an ambassador. I love racquetball. Racquetball is my life. The fans, the players, you guys are my family. USA Racquetball is my family. I'm always going to try to bridge the gap and do what I can to bring everybody together to do the best for the sport. And I think in this case, I know there's a lot of issues out there, and I bring them up to Mike, and some of you bring them up openly. We want them openly. You can post them on social media and put your name behind it. You can send it right there to Mike's email. If you think Mike's not going to read it, because I've heard that too, send it to me. And look, I'll bring it up. Okay. Yeah. So we want you to do that. We want you to engage. USA Racquetball is going through difficult times, just like we all are. Okay. And it's important to hear from you. So don't be afraid to send that. We appreciate it. Keep it coming. I am arranging that summit, which USA Racquetball will be part of. And believe me, in the room, people will not like what they're going to hear, but it's going to be necessary. And it's okay. We could agree to disagree. It's important to hear what you have to say. So keep the lines of communication open. Mike, I know you want to say something about that also.
No, I completely agree. I hope that people don't think that I'm not going to read your. The reason we're here on this show, like you said, we want to be out. We've got nothing to hide behind. We are doing the best we can with what we have right now. So if you've got a challenge, I'm sorry to hear about the guy that's considering never playing racquetball again because of some issue. Didn't say what the issue was. My guess is it's something that either is a misunderstanding, or it's something we absolutely cannot deal with right now because of the situation we're in. And right now, we're in a bad spot. COVID's just kicked everybody, and it's not just racquetball. Everybody's dealing with some terrible issues. Restaurants are closing, businesses are closing. We're doing everything we can to keep USA Racquetball functioning and thriving, because it's what organizes and keeps racquetball at what it is. And my intent is, the reason I took this job was to make it grow. So I want to hear what it is that the problem is. Now, I don't want to just a bunch of bitching and yelling. If there's a problem we can address, send it to me, please. We need everybody's help, and there's no way we're going to do this in a box. We need to know what it is that we can fix, and be realistic about it, though. I mean, right now, to just complain because we can't hold a national championship, well, that's not really realistic. There's a whole lot of things that are closing right now because COVID's just not making it possible. But please don't ever think that I won't listen to it, and I will address your email. My email, I answer every one of them. I get 40 or 50 emails a day, and it takes me hours to address all of them, but I always will, because that's what's important. So please, whatever the problem is, let me know. And if it's something we can fix, trust me, we will. It's the reason we started this show. Sudsy, you're right on point with that this is not something that's been done. This medium, what we're looking for is to communicate with the members, help them solve the problems we have with racquetball. And I'm as passionate about fixing racquetball as anybody in the game is. Otherwise, I mean, I'd have better things to do, but I'm not. I'm doing this because I want to fix racquetball. So if you got a challenge, something we can fix realistically, speak up. We've got a very active board. Sudsy's gotten involved, and he's got things he could be doing. He's not wasting his time doing this. So help us out. Tell us what the challenge is and let us fix it.
Yeah, Mike, well said. We're going to wrap it up, and everybody watching, thank you very much. Do share the feed. It's important to hear from all of you. We still want some nominations for the real racquetball champion. Yep. Really people that deserve that. Yeah, we're trying to keep a lot of things positive in a negative environment. There's no doubt about it. And we do need your help, and we do want to hear from you, whether you think we're going to like it or not, whether you think that something will be done or not. It will be seen. It will be discussed. It will be brought up. And, I can tell you from over 40 years in this sport, wearing many different hats, most of the people that are still standing right now are doing it for the labor of love. Mm-hmm. Believe me when I tell you, because if I told you what we were making from doing this, you'd probably say, what are you guys doing? Yeah. I'll be sending my resume to some of you. But anyway, with that said, thank you so much for joining us. Connor, thank you. Stuart in the back, thank you. Everybody online, we love you. We want you to have an amazing, happy Thanksgiving. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Game 11 on December 7th. So you got 2 weeks, plenty of time to gather up all the info, all the issues, concerns, good things, bad things, get them over to everybody. And we'll talk about it on Real Racquetball. Game 11, December 7th. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope to see everybody soon.
Everybody have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. We look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Thank you very much.